Listen to this. The marketplace can tell you many things about yourself, but it cannot tell you the whole truth. It can measure, compare, rank, and label. It can reward what is loud, fast, polished, and easy to sell. It can make you feel like your worth has to be proven again and again. But your life is larger than a price tag. Your heart is more than a product. Your soul is not a listing to be clicked, approved, or discarded. You are not the summary of what the world can count. You are deeper than that, and the Creator has placed something living, sacred, and unrepeatable inside you. Breathe with me for a moment. The marketplace asks, what can you produce? What can you show? What can you charge? What can you achieve? Those questions are not all wrong, but they are not all true either. If you let them define you, they can quietly shrink your spirit. They can teach you to see yourself as a bundle of outputs instead of a whole human being. They can make your value feel fragile, like it rises and falls with every sale, every reply, every score, every reaction. But your value was never meant to depend on a crowd's appetite. It was meant to rest in something steadier, deeper, and kinder. Remember this truth. The marketplace loves comparison because comparison keeps people chasing. It says someone else is ahead, someone else is sharper, someone else is more visible, someone else is more profitable, someone else is more desirable, someone else is more everything. Then you begin to measure your life against a moving line that never stays still. That kind of measuring can exhaust you. It can make your progress feel small even when it is real. It can make your gifts feel ordinary even when they are precious. It can make your journey feel late even when it is exactly on time for the life you are meant to live. You are not late because someone else moved faster. You are not lesser because someone else drew more attention. You are not empty because the world has not yet understood what is inside you. Sometimes the most valuable things are not the easiest to market. Sometimes the deepest gifts are quiet before they are visible. Sometimes the most honest work begins in hidden places where applause cannot enter. That does not make it weak. It makes it rooted. And rooted things survive storms. Rooted things grow with patience. Rooted things do not need to scream to prove they are alive. Feel it in your soul. There is a difference between being seen and being known. The marketplace often rewards being seen. It notices what is bright, current, clickable, and familiar. But your heart longs to be known. It longs for understanding, consistency, and peace. It longs for spaces where you do not have to perform your way into being accepted. That longing is not a flaw. It is a signal. It tells you that you were made for more than constant evaluation. You were made for belonging, for depth, for a life that does not have to pretend all the time. The marketplace can offer attention without care. It can offer approval without affection. It can offer status without safety. That is why so many people feel tired even when they are winning on paper. They are feeding a machine that never truly feeds them back. Listen to this. If you keep letting the outer world decide who you are, you will always be at the mercy of its moods. But if you let truth shape you, you become steadier. You become easier to trust. You become harder to shake. You begin to know that your worth does not rise and fall with trends. The Creator has placed in you more than a marketable personality. You have a conscience. You have discernment. You have tenderness. You have memory. You have the ability to care, to build, to repair, to listen, to choose, to bless. Those things are not minor. They are the foundations of a meaningful life. Yet the marketplace often treats them as secondary. It asks what can be sold, what can be scaled, what can be optimized, what can be consumed quickly. But your life is not a quick transaction. It is a long becoming. And becoming requires qualities the marketplace cannot fully measure. You may have felt pressure to present yourself in a way that attracts more interest. Maybe you learned to polish, to hurry, to package, to simplify the complicated parts of yourself. Some of that is practical. Some of it may be wise. But be careful not to confuse presentation with identity. A package is not a person. A profile is not a soul. A brand is not a heart. If you keep hiding the real you beneath what seems most sellable, you may gain attention while losing intimacy with yourself. And intimacy with yourself matters. It is where honesty, peace, and direction begin. Breathe with me for a moment. What if your life was not asking to be more marketable, but more true? What if the most important work right now is not to impress the world, but to return to what feels honest in you? The world may reward a certain image, but your spirit needs integrity. Your nervous system needs rest. Your conscience needs peace. Your future needs alignment. Those needs do not disappear just because a marketplace finds them inconvenient. When you choose truth over performance, you may lose some applause, but you gain something better, a life that can actually hold you. There is a quiet pain in becoming what sells while abandoning what is real. It can look successful from the outside and still feel hollow on the inside. You may be able to deliver what people expect, yet feel strangely absent from your own life. That is a hard place to live. If that is where you have been, do not condemn yourself. Many people have gone there because they wanted safety, provision, acceptance, or simply relief. But relief built on self-betrayal never lasts. The good news is that you can return. You can remember yourself. You can step back from the performance and choose a truer way. Remember this truth. The marketplace measures visibility, but life is not only about visibility. Some of the most important work happens in unseen rooms. Some of the deepest healing happens quietly. Some of the strongest character is built in ordinary days when no one is counting. The roots of a tree are not on display, yet they determine whether the tree stands or falls. In the same way, your hidden life matters. Your private choices matter. Your integrity when nobody is clapping matters. Those unseen things are not wasted. They are building the kind of person your future can trust. You are allowed to question the value system that tells you to keep proving yourself. You are allowed to ask whether the pursuit you are in is actually feeding your spirit or simply feeding the expectations around you. You are allowed to slow down long enough to hear your own inner voice. That voice may be softer than the noise around you, but it is not weaker. It often carries what is most true. Listen carefully when it says, "This is costing too much," or "This is not who you are," or "This matters more than the crowd thinks." That voice is worth honoring. The marketplace can make people forget that rest is productive in its own way. Rest is not laziness. Rest is not failure. Rest is not wasted time. Rest is a way of telling your body and soul that you do not have to earn your right to exist by constant output. When you rest well, you think more clearly. You speak more gently. You choose more wisely. You recover your humanity. That recovery is sacred. A tired soul can become easy to manipulate because it is desperate for relief. But a rested soul is steadier, more discerning, and less likely to sell itself for quick comfort. Feel it in your soul. A marketplace mentality can whisper that your life has to be monetized to matter. But meaning is larger than money. Contribution is larger than currency. Love is larger than transactions. Service is larger than status. There is dignity in work, yes, but your worth is not built from output alone. It is built from being alive, aware, and capable of growth. You are not an object to be optimized. You are a person to be nurtured. The more you remember this, the less power shallow systems have over your heart. There may be people around you who do not understand why you are slowing down, simplifying, or rethinking what matters. They may have trained themselves to admire only what shines. Let them. You are not here to become a copy of the marketplace's favorite image. You are here to become more fully yourself. That may mean smaller numbers for a season. It may mean quieter wins. It may mean less noise and more depth. Do not fear that. Depth is what sustains. Depth is what heals. Depth is what makes success feel livable instead of hollow. Listen to this. Your gifts are not the same as your worth, and your worth is not the same as your market value. Gifts are important. Skills are important. Excellence is important. But they are not the whole story. A person can have great skill and still need healing. A person can have little skill and still possess deep wisdom. A person can be highly visible and still feel invisible inside. The marketplace may blur these distinctions, but your soul does not have to. You can hold your gifts with gratitude without turning them into a verdict on your value. There is freedom in remembering that you are a human being before you are a human doing. The marketplace often reverses that order. It says produce first, rest later. Prove first, belong later. Perform first, be accepted later. But your heart was not designed to live under that pressure forever. You need to be met in your humanity. You need spaces where you can breathe without representing anything. You need moments where your life is not being evaluated. When you honor your humanity, you recover the inner ground from which everything else can grow. That recovery changes how you move through the world. The Creator has not asked you to become a version of yourself that is most profitable at the cost of your peace. The Creator has placed something truer inside you, something that knows when a path is good and when it is merely impressive. That inner knowing may be subtle, but it is precious. The marketplace may tell you to ignore it, to keep up, to keep selling, to keep polishing. But the deeper wisdom in you says, pause, listen, and choose what helps you remain whole. Wholeness is worth more than status. Wholeness is what lets you sleep at night. Breathe with me for a moment. Imagine releasing the need to be everything to everyone. Imagine no longer editing your life to match the loudest demand. Imagine choosing enoughness over endless chasing. That does not mean you stop growing. It means you stop shrinking for approval. It means you stop treating your soul like a product that must always improve to deserve love. Growth is good when it is rooted in care. Growth is painful when it is driven by fear. You deserve growth that feels honest, gentle, and aligned with your real self. The marketplace can train you to think of yourself as a competitor, but your life is not a contest. You do not need to win against everyone else to have a meaningful place. Your path is not made smaller because another path is visible. Your timing is not broken because someone else has already arrived. Your season is not a failure because it looks different. When you compare too much, you forget that every life has its own rhythm. You are not behind. You are being shaped. That shaping may look slow from the outside, but it is building something lasting. Remember this truth. If you keep letting external approval steer your choices, you will live at the mercy of opinions that never really know you. Approval is changeable. It follows trends, moods, and interests. But inner truth can become a steadier guide. It asks different questions. Does this align with who you are? Does this strengthen your peace? Does this respect your conscience? Does this help you become more honest? Those questions protect you from becoming a stranger to yourself. They help you live from conviction instead of pressure, and conviction is a far better foundation for any lasting life. There is a cost to living only for what sells. You may gain visibility but lose depth. You may gain speed but lose meaning. You may gain applause but lose quiet. You may gain access but lose trust. Listen to this. There is nothing wrong with success that supports your life. But success that demands the surrender of your soul is too expensive. The marketplace is not evil in itself, but it is not wise enough to define your entire identity. You must let something truer speak louder than its demands. That something is your conscience, your values, your inner life. You are allowed to create from depth, not just from demand. You are allowed to offer what is sincere, even if it is not instantly popular. You are allowed to let your life be shaped by meaning instead of by constant market pressure. It may feel slower. It may feel less glamorous. It may even feel risky. But risk is not always danger. Sometimes risk is the doorway to freedom. When you stop forcing yourself to fit the market's favorite mold, you make room for a life that is more breathable, more honest, and more sustainable. Feel it in your soul. There is a kind of success that looks impressive and leaves you empty, and there is a kind of success that may look quieter but leaves you whole. Choose whole. Choose steady. Choose truthful. Choose the kind of life where you do not need to keep negotiating with your own spirit. That choice may not impress everyone. It may disappoint some who preferred the version of you that kept performing. But the version of you that is aligned will thank you. Your future will thank you. Your body, your mind, and your peace will thank you. The marketplace may tell you that your value is proven by what you can offer in exchange. But your deepest worth was never designed to be purchased. Your worth is expressed, yes. Your gifts matter, yes. Your work matters, yes. But the essence of who you are is not for sale. It is lived. It is shared. It is loved. It is developed over time through truth, patience, and care. Do not let any system convince you that your humanity is only useful when it can be consumed. You are more than a transaction. You are a life. Listen to this. When you stop defining yourself by the marketplace, you become more available to your actual calling. You stop asking, what sells? And start asking, what is true? You stop asking, what gets attention? And start asking, what gives life? You stop asking, how do I impress? And start asking, how do I remain faithful to who I am becoming? Those questions shift your center. They move you from anxiety into intention. They give you a better compass. And a better compass changes the whole journey. It helps you walk in a way that leaves less regret. There may be parts of you that still fear invisibility. That is understandable. The marketplace often teaches that being unseen means being unimportant. But that is not true. Many profound things are hidden for a season. Seeds are hidden. Roots are hidden. Healing is hidden. Growth is hidden. The most important transformations often start where no audience can applaud. So do not fear the quiet work. Do not despise the unseen days. They are not a punishment. They are often the very place where the foundation is being laid for something far better than performance. The Creator is not asking you to abandon excellence. Excellence is beautiful when it serves truth. What you are being invited to release is the false belief that you must become whatever the world rewards to be worthy of care. You do not need to become colder to be respected. You do not need to become louder to matter. You do not need to become shinier to be seen by the one who made you. The deepest gaze upon your life already knows you fully. That gaze does not ask for a performance. It calls you into wholeness. Breathe with me for a moment. Your life can still be meaningful even if it is not packaged for public approval. Your work can still matter even if the numbers are small. Your voice can still help people even if the audience is limited. Your kindness can still change a room even if nobody posts about it. The marketplace is not the final judge of significance. It never was. Significance often appears in ways that cannot be scaled. A single honest conversation. A moment of mercy. A steady act of care. These things shape reality in ways the market cannot fully measure. Remember this truth. When you are tempted to chase what is most marketable, ask whether it is also most nourishing. Not everything profitable is peaceful. Not everything popular is wise. Not everything visible is valuable. If you can learn that difference, you will protect your spirit from many costly mistakes. You will begin to choose paths that may grow more slowly but will not leave you hollow. That is a better exchange. It is a more loving way to live. It respects your energy. It respects your conscience. It respects the life you have been given. There is a great relief in no longer pretending the marketplace gets to tell the whole story about you. It tells a story, yes, but not the whole one. It can describe what is trending. It can count what is buying. It can measure what is noticed. But it cannot measure your depth, your tenderness, your endurance, your growth, your hidden prayers, your unposted kindness, your private courage. Those things matter. They are part of your true record. Hold on to that when the noise gets loud. Your real life is bigger than the frame others place around it. You are learning how to stand in a world that monetizes nearly everything without letting it monetize your soul. That is a profound skill. It asks for discernment. It asks for boundaries. It asks for honesty. It asks for courage to say this matters and this does not, this serves my peace and this does not, this supports my becoming and this does not. Those decisions are not small. They are acts of self-respect. Every time you make them, you move away from being shaped by fear and closer to being shaped by truth. Feel it in your soul. You do not need to despise the marketplace to live wisely within it. You only need to remember its limits. It can be useful. It can organize exchange. It can support work. But it cannot define your identity unless you give it that authority. Give that authority to truth instead. Give it to the quiet knowing that you are a person, not a product. Give it to the wisdom that says a life of depth is worth more than a life of endless display. That shift changes everything. It changes how you move, choose, speak, and rest. The Creator has placed in you the capacity to live by a higher standard than whatever is trending. That capacity is not arrogant. It is healthy. It allows you to remain rooted when others are drifting. It allows you to stay faithful when others are chasing. It allows you to keep your humanity intact while still engaging the world around you. That is a rare form of strength. It does not need to be loud. It simply needs to be steady. Steadiness is what makes a life trustworthy. And trustworthiness is what helps your life become a refuge. Listen to this. If you have been feeling pressure to become more marketable than meaningful, take that pressure seriously, but do not obey it blindly. Pause. Ask what it is costing you. Ask what it is doing to your rest, your integrity, your relationships, your creativity, your joy. If the answer is too much, then you have your answer. You may need to adjust, simplify, or step back. That is not failure. That is wisdom. Wisdom is what helps you choose a life that can hold your spirit rather than squeeze it into something profitable but painful. There is a gentler way to move through life. It is slower, perhaps, but it is more honest. It asks you to pay attention to what is true inside, not just what is rewarded outside. It asks you to build with care. It asks you to be patient with your growth. It asks you to remember that you are not being tested by the market alone. You are being formed by every choice you make when no one is grading you. That formation is where character grows. And character is one of the strongest forces you carry. Remember this truth. Your soul cannot thrive forever in a system that treats it like inventory. At some point, you must step back and remember that you are alive, not listed. You are breathing, not branded. You are becoming, not merely selling. Let that truth restore your perspective. Let it calm the panic that says you must always optimize yourself. You do not have to turn your life into a constant pitch. You can live it. You can love it. You can care for it. That is more than enough. The Creator does not need you to impress the world to be worthy of love. You already are worthy of love. You already have value. You already matter. Your task is not to earn that worth. Your task is to live from it. When you live from worth, you make different choices. You choose what supports your peace. You choose what keeps you honest. You choose what lets your spirit breathe. Those choices slowly reshape everything. They turn your life from a performance into a home. And home is where the heart can finally rest. Breathe with me for a moment. Let the pressure to be marketable loosen its grip. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind settle. You do not need to become a better commodity. You need to become a more truthful version of yourself. That truth will guide you better than any trend. It will protect you better than any label. It will sustain you longer than any applause. Do not be afraid of a quieter path if it is a truer one. Quiet is often where the soul. Let your next choice come from truth, not pressure. Let your voice carry peace, not panic. Let your life answer to what is real, not merely what is rewarded. Take a quiet moment to reflect, pray, or connect with the divine in your own way. You do not need to become a product to become valuable. If this message spoke to your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe for more daily guidance, comfort, and encouragement. Your life matters beyond the market, and your soul deserves a future built on truth, calm, and sacred worth. Keep walking gently. Keep listening deeply. Keep becoming, always now.